YouTube, what the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage here, back on Total War Attila, and I got some replays, or a replay I wanted to show you. I know it's been 2 Attila battles in a row, but it's because my Follow the Samurai campaign got off. I really want the Attila battles to be with the Follow the Samurai campaign, and since it got off and we missed a day and I put it back up today, this will be Attila. We're going to have the other one cycled in here, so don't think that it's just going to all be Attila again. I'm just trying to keep things in sync, and because that day got messed up, this is just me getting things back in sync. So I have a couple of, I don't know why I keep saying a couple. It's because I do have a couple of other replays I want to show you, but that's for a different time. This one I want to show you, I just wanted to do an all-out YOLO ambush with one of the Celt factions. Win, lose, complete destruction, whatever. And my opponent picked the Ostrogoths, which honestly scares the crap out of me because they are a very good faction. But you can see by his army there, he's got a decent pick. It's not great. I disagree with the use of the crossbows because I don't think you'll need it versus one of the Celt factions. So I literally start right in his face, click a big blob order, and then start trying to correct my my approach. So basically I'm just going to YOLO charge all of his infantry. He's got Noble Germanics. He had pikes here, so I had to quickly call off the attack on the pikes. Probably should have gone ahead and hit the spearmen because they were in fire at will, so they wouldn't have been braced. But there was a cav behind him. More and more cavalry will cause insane amounts of damage to enemy infantry, and you can see that they're doing just that. And my hope was that they could live just long enough for my infantry to get in here and engage the enemy cav. And I would obviously like to have some of them survive, but it's not likely that they're going to survive the entirety of the battle. I needed mistakes, and here's one here where the enemy Noble Germanic horseman gets caught by some of my swordsmen, and they don't really get a proper charge. So this is going to cause a lot of damage. I mean, so my opponent's infantry, these Noble Germanic swordsmen, are already gone on this flank, and essentially I've just got a bunch of Scothist teachers on each flank, some spears, and I have a crap load of black blades. So basically I just spammed a bunch of strong infantry. The Scothist teachers are very, very weak to cav charges, but quite good for their price when they get into combat. And these are just crap spears. They're not good spears. Again, it's just there just because. So you can see in the center my opponent's army is collapsing. He hasn't pulled his crossbows back, which is very fortunate for me because most of my cavalry is staying engaged here where it really shouldn't be. These Noble Germanic horsemen are getting cut down in prolonged combat with my black blades, but here's where I'm at a big risk. My opponent could start slamming around in the back of these fights and quickly rout my men, and there's nothing that these more and more cav can do about it, but he focuses on them anyway because he wants my cav off the field. So this is actually going to really work in my favor because 1 or 2 heavy cav rear charges would be more than my men could handle. You can see here this gives me a chance to get my spearmen over to support against his Noble Germanic horsemen as well. And where he charges my spearmen, his Noble Germanic horsemen have no time or no problem winning, but this gives again units like my black blades here to get into combat. And again, these guys have such an attack that they're going to do some damage. My opponent is going to pull away though where he can, and it's a smart move. I get a couple of my more and more cavalry left. There's a couple more here in the center, and I just basically avoid the enemy pikes. And here I managed to try and pin down the Royal Sionist cavalry without it getting a great charge. I'm bringing in my Morrigan's followers. It does turn around and charge though, so this is going to be bad, but it doesn't get a very good charge, fortunately, or else my general might have died very quickly and painfully here. But yeah, I just basically blob up. These Gothic Palatina defectors just getting blobbed up on by black blades and Scothist teachers and spears. They're going to do very poorly in that blobbed up fight. And then over here I've got black blades going crazy. And the black blades have a huge morale. So they're going to fight almost to the last man. You can see these Scothist teachers in here as well. And then my opponent, again, has not... the chaos of it has kept him from effectively getting his crossbows away from my men, which is very good for me. They've done some firing and they've gotten a few kills, but I'm able to continually catch them in combat. And so here you can see my black blades catching up with his crossbows, and they're going to cause a substantial amount of damage. So if you do something like this, it's not always going to work. I mean, to be honest, the easiest thing for a something Germanic army to do, like the Ostrogoths, would be to just put some pikes up front, and if someone tries to do what I did, you'd be completely cut off from the front of their army by the pikes, because all these high charge, lower armor units would just get destroyed on the front of pikes. And then if you had 6 Germanic bows like you could, they'd just start unloading all over all of my poor missile block chance units. I don't know what kind of block chance the Black Blades have. It may be decent. But yeah, it would just be very bad. So that's about the only thing more and more cavalry is good for, is something like this. Just bum rushing the enemy, and that's really your only chance with the Celts. They are not meant for any kind of pitched battle against one of these better factions. You're going to be out skirmished. You're going to be out calved. Your infantry will be great, and that's one thing I'll say about these factions. They've got great infantry. It's just that infantry doesn't win this game like it does in Rome 2. It can definitely play a role. Good infantry supporting cavalry is huge. Like axes supporting cav is a great strategy, like two-handed axes. Stuff like that can really help you chop through enemy cav. But again, the infantry's fine, and it gets in and does the job. You can see how many kills most of my infantry get compared to their losses. Most units doing very well. And my more cavalry, again, not all of them got into combat the way they should. But I mean, you can see the ones that did got a substantial number of kills just off of YOLO charging into the front of enemy units. So definitely a viable tactic with these guys. But it's going to be pretty obvious when you pick the Picts. Pick the Picts. I like that. The Abdani or the Caledonians. Every unit that all those factions have is ambush. So it's not a question of whether you can be ambushing. You can ambush with any and every army and all units. So you don't really have any other strategy other than a bum rush ambush. So to me, that's one of the main downfalls of the Celts, is that it's pretty obvious what you're going to be up to if you pick the Celts. You're going to have some good infantry, and you're going to require a quick, decisive strike before the enemy can get organized. I don't really see a whole lot of other way that those battles go down. If you all know some strategies that I don't, let me know. But this kind of stuff, again, can be fun to pull off in a multiplayer battle, but it's not going to happen repeatedly, I don't think. Now, the other battles that I want to show you will come up soon. I bumped into this guy from the Wolf Clan, and it'll be... some of you won't like this, and some of you will like it. In the first battle, he kind of uses a Burgundian Germanic something, and just... well... let's say I have a hard time with the West Romans. And then in the second battle, I pick the Germanic something, and he brings the East Romans. And I won't give any of that away. So I'll show you how those two go the next time we jump into Attila, and just kind of give you some commentary on that. And again, some of you won't like it because some of you aren't interested in the Germanic something because it's so repetitive. But I think there'll be some stuff there that you all can learn from that one. Anyway, I don't think that's really anything else I wanted to cover. Yeah, the Picts, these guys are kind of at a disadvantage. I mean, all of their general's choices are crap. Just complete crap. And the last thing you need is a crap general with an army like this. So it's, again, a fun faction and campaign. These guys would be great. Absolutely great. Because they're like the Freddy Kruegers of campaign. It'd be a lot of fun. I wish they would just make and again, some of you don't want me ranting about this stuff. I'm not ranting. I really wish they would make a few changes. I want to point something out real quick. I know it's relatively late on a weeknight, but look, 4 games on a Total War game that's only a few months old, and I'm just going to have a real frank discussion here real quick. And honestly, I watched a video the other day that someone put up about the Halo the Master Chief Collection, and essentially it has the same problem. I say essentially, not entirely. The multiplayer on the Master Chief Collection was completely broken when it was released, so it's a little bit different. The multiplayer in Attila was not broken per se. They had some interesting ideas in it. It just honestly appeared to be either unfinished or unbalanced. And one way or the other, what that looks like to the end customer, to us, is frustration. So I'm not here to say what the intentions were or the means or whatever else that caused it, but the reason the multiplayer population here is fairly low is because the attention to the multiplayer has been lacking. And it's something that they need to get to work on. They need to do it fast. And the reason I say that is it's frustrating for myself as a customer and some of the others. Attila has a great campaign, and that's good. And it has a lot of replayability in campaign, more so than, say, a game like Halo. But a lot of the replayability of a Total War game, as far as its longevity into the years, is also dependent upon the multiplayer. And whenever you have a game like this that is, you can see that people are very disillusioned with it in multiplayer this early on, and that's bad. In my opinion, the software developer is killing their game on an early death by doing this kind of stuff. So I don't think the multiplayer in Attila is awful. it needs a few balancing tweaks, and Maximus has made some great videos about Walrus Jones Tusk mods, some other stuff that has some great ideas. Basically, again, people have some great ideas. I want them to just take it, run it, do it. Let's get it like this. And this is my main complaint about the release of this game. The campaign needed a few tweaks. That's fine. We kind of expect stuff like that. There's little bugs that people will find en masse whenever you release a game, and I would expect a few bugs in multiplayer too. You expect the game to be tested, to be in pretty good working condition. Attila was in this case, but it's those little things. And basically, again, I wouldn't even mind if they come out and say, hey, every time we release a game, the multiplayer is just going to be beta until we get feedback. And we'll promise you to have that feedback completed in the first 6 to 8 weeks, and we'll have a complete product there. And so that people have an expectation is basically the thing. Because at this point, people will be mad at the multiplayer. They've played their battles, they'll leave, they'll go do something else, and they just won't come back and look. And then you kill the population of it. So I could be wrong. I'm not sitting here saying you have to believe me. Just wanted to have a brief conversation about that. That's why I say the things I do about Attila when I'm in it. I want to draw attention to it because I want to see it fixed, because I love the game. And I want Creative Assembly to be successful. I want this game to be successful. I want the series to be successful. I like those guys on a personal level. I want them to succeed on a business level. And I want this franchise to be popular. So yeah, none of this is hate speak or anything else like that. Like, oh gosh, I hate this, I hate them, I hate everything. No, it's definitely constructive criticism. People could say you're passionate about the things you love, and I love Total War, so I'm passionate about it. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed the video. I will be back with more soon. HeirofCarthage signing off for now.